Will Johnny Depp and Amber Heard get their careers back? So TMZ made this interesting special about, so kind of like a summary of the court case, the trial between Amber Heard, the defamation case, Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp. And I wasn't really following the case like, the way that I know a lot of people were following the case like every day. I wasn't really following it like that. So this gave a really great picture, general picture of like the full story. And I think let's remember that Amber Heard took Johnny to court in the UK and she won. And I believe that was around domestic violence or something like that, right? And then this is the American case, but because it's America, there's a lot more eyeballs, right? And now Johnny won the defamation case. But in this case, it was revealed that both of them were abusive to each other. He denied all her claims of physical abuse, so there's no basis to accuse him of that. And if the U.S. courts have said it's a lie, but the U.K. courts have said it's true, well, that's interesting. So that's one thing, one court system against another, right? And that just has to do with the way that each country kind of governs its, or each country's views on how the court system works. And I know America is very, I think what's interesting to me is people are using this defamation lawsuit as sort of like evidence or proof that Johnny Depp is innocent. But I think it was very clear in the footage that Amber Heard provided that he was abusive to her. We heard him, we know he has opioid addiction, alcohol addiction, and we've seen him abuse alcohol, right? But we never saw him hit her. I know she, in one of the videos, she tries to kind of like accuse him of doing that, but there's no evidence that he's ever hit her. But there is evidence of her admitting that she hit him. And that's actually what kind of made her lose in the court of public opinion. When people heard her in that video, confessing to hitting him and sort of saying like, what do you think people will think? Like, whatever she said. The point is, it's very clear from this case that both of them were very toxic and abusive to each other. There's no evidence of him being abusive to her, but there is evidence of her being, well, I say abusive, physically abusive, but there is evidence of her being physically abusive to him. And because of that, he's kind of gotten away with it, and he's almost being positioned as this hero that got over this unfair injury of this abusive girlfriend, toxic abusive girlfriend, when I think in reality, let's not forget that he lost the court case in the UK. But the press is doing a good job of sort of like washing all of that away. I think what's very clear is that they were in a very emotionally abusive relationship, and it was emotionally toxic. Now, whether or not he did beat her, or, we do not know. But is that enough for Hollywood to forgive him? And funny enough, I think it is. Now, I don't see Johnny Depp doing any more Disney blockbuster movies. So goodbye to the Pirates of the Caribbean. Was that a Disney? I think that's a Disney. Yeah, I think it is Disney. Goodbye to all those like sort of like Willy. What did he do? Willy Wonka. Yeah, goodbye to all those Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory. Goodbye to all those sort of like childlike shows that he once was able to do. These universal, rated U sort of like movies. He can't get those blockbusters anymore because his image is kind of tarnished. So it would be disturbing if he did. But I think it does open the door for him to get edgier work. We know that he has an opioid addiction. We know that, all these things, this toxic relationship kind of opens him up to do more rugged roles, but he could still end up being a superhero, even like doing something like a James Bond or a Mission Impossible. But whatever the case is, because the public is viewing him as a hero right now, he's gonna get these heroic roles, and I think big studios are gonna want to work with him now. I don't know if they're going to jump to him immediately, but he's kind of this man. Like, I think the court case, and TMZ pointed this out, the court case showed that he has a lot of fans. He has a lot of people rooting for him. And right now it's hard to get people into movie theaters. So this is a reason. But he was able to get people to go to his court case. So it shows that he can actually get people out of their houses to go and see him at something. So I do see him getting more roles, but none of those like PG-13 kind of roles that he got before. It's all going to be rugged. It's all going to be hardcore. It's all going to be edgy. In a way, kind of like how Chris Brown had this like squeaky clean image, and then when he beat Rihanna, he then turned into a rapper, and it was in that lane. It's acceptable for him to be abusive. I think that's what is going to be coming for Johnny Depp. And unfortunately, or fortunately for him, in that role in Hollywood, there's so many roles that are championed in that light. So that's one thing for him. As for Amber Heard, I don't think Hollywood's going to want to touch her for a while. I think she's going to be blacklisted. She wasn't a superstar before. In fact, her dating or marrying Johnny Depp is what made her a superstar, or not a superstar, but made her famous. But we knew she was like this bombshell, gorgeous actress. We knew who she was, but she wasn't a superstar actress. She was just this hot chick. And then when she dated Johnny Depp, she had this proximity to A-list status, right? This proximity, but not it. So even during their whole she hasn't really done much, but she did get Aquaman, which is a big grab, and she got it at a time when the public was on her side. But now no studio is going to want to work with her. TMZ broke it down very interestingly that, you have to think about it. People are going to, if a studio is going to put her on a project, she's going to have to do this press tour with them. And that means all these actors will have to work with her and have to talk on these press tours about what it's like to work with Amber Heard. It's not just about her, but it's about the other actors and their images and if they want to be associated with an Amber Heard being attached to a project. So I don't think that she's going to get a lot of roles, but I do think that Hollywood loves to forgive women like her. Think about Winona Ryder, who stole from a store back in the early 2000s. She shoplifted. And then they put her on, 20 years later, they put her on Netflix, Stranger Things, and her career is revived. So I do think that Amber Heard does have the opportunity to be forgiven, which is actually kind of interesting. But hey, if Chris Brown could be forgiven for beating a woman, Amber Heard for being a toxic girlfriend, I think she would be forgiven much faster. At the end of the day, she is a white woman, and we all know about white tears. They talk, it's a thing, especially white women tears. So she's going to be forgiven in the court of public opinion. I don't think they're going to villainize her for too long. I think give her a few years. This court case has given her a lot of fame. It's given her, I don't know about Notoriety, but it's giving her PR, it's giving her fame. And there are going to be people that relate with her. There are going to be people that see the fact that Johnny Depp was a toxic boyfriend or husband, and the fact that he is powerful and loved is why everyone is rooting for him when he's not innocent, because let's not forget that he lost the court case in the UK. And so because of this, she's going to have people on her side. She's going to have people that want to root for her, and it's going to be enough to fill up, subscriptions on a platform or seats in a movie theater. It's going to be enough. So I don't think right now is the time. I give her, I would say maybe 3 years of just nothing, which is interesting because it takes about 3 years to get a whole movie out, written, produced, out, and distributed. So I give her about a 3-year, hiatus. So maybe that's a 6-year hiatus of not seeing any Amber Heard. And then I think we're going to start seeing a lot of her eventually, because now she is world famous because of this court case. And she also has the opportunity to take on edgier roles where she's more villainized. She's more of a villain rather than the protagonist. And that she will be acceptable in that place. But I do think that Hollywood will forgive her in the long run. And I do think that it's actually going to be a good opportunity for her, especially in this social media era where there are fewer gatekeepers. The internet gives you more access to more people. Because of this, there are going to be people rooting for her, and there are going to be people that want to support her. And she has a lot of visibility from this, so it actually might end up helping her. So I do think Hollywood is going to forgive both of them. I do think that they're going to get to work. And I just wanted to point out that it's very like interesting how people have used this court case to sort of ignore the fact that Johnny Depp was kind of toxic anyway, and that's a little sketchy, and they're championing him for overcoming having an abusive woman because we hear so much about men abusing their wives, but we don't hear enough about women who lie about this abuse and who are actually the abusers. We don't hear enough of this. And it was an interesting story for this time because we're seeing a lot more male-driven content on social media, male podcasts, and men are getting this voice that they feel like has been suppressed for the past like 40 years in media. And now there's an opportunity for him to have that avenue as well. Anyway, it's interesting stuff. I do think the two of them are going to be fine. I do think the two of them their careers are going to be fine. I think Amber Heard, she's set for life anyway, financially, because apparently she didn't give away that divorce settlement money anyway. But I think she's going to get more roles down the line. And I think Johnny Depp, I think he's going to be the superhero. We're going to see him in edgy roles, and people are going to show out and support him. But anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the above. My name is Kenim, and I'll see you next time. Guys, send me a Cash App, support. Cash App, bottom left corner, $ KenimOba. Support, like, follow, subscribe. I know a lot of you are watching, but you don't subscribe. Subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. All right, a peace. End stream.